For those of you who followed my previous legacy modes on College Hoops 2K8, highlighting the story of Ken Carter, the former high school coaching legend, you may be asking yourself, what's next for our main character? He's made 2 stops on his legacy mode journey thus far, including humble beginnings at the University of Tennessee Martin, leading them to a Cinderella Sweet 16 run. He then traded the small town success story for a pursuit of bigger things in the big city, with Atlantic 10's Fordham University marking his second coaching stop, transforming the former basketball laughingstock into back-to-back national champions. Between UT Martin and the Fordham Rams, Coach Carter's journey has spanned over 12 seasons, 120 episodes, resulting in 257 wins, 6 Conference Coach of the Year awards, and of course, those 2 championship banners. Coach Carter has become a household name in college basketball, but there's still one final achievement waiting to be crossed off. Coach Carter's called New York City his home over the past 6 years, completing one of the most stunning basketball turnarounds in the history of the sport. His impact on Fordham and the city of New York will never be forgotten, but it's time for Coach Carter to pack his bags after signing on with his new Power Conference school and leaving behind the city that never sleeps for the plains of the Midwest. His destination, Columbia, Missouri, home of the University of Missouri. The Missouri Tigers basketball program has actually been fairly successful over its 120-year history. Norm Stewart coached the Tigers for over 30 years, and most of the program's 25 tournament appearances and 5 Elite 8 berths belong to him, but they've never cracked the Final Four. 2012 was their most recent conference championship, rolling into March behind 3 future NBA draft picks, which shocked the world even more as they'd fall to the 15th-seeded Norfolk State Spartans of the MEAC, and to this day it remains the second largest upset by point spread in NCAA tournament history. And within our legacy mode, this is where everything started to fall apart for the Tigers. They've only returned to the dance once within the legacy mode, after that first round shocker, meaning Missouri hasn't won a March Madness game in over a decade and currently ride a 5-year drought as Coach Carter steps in. The program's had major issues keeping up with the Big 12 in recruiting, with the likes of Oklahoma, the Texas teams, and their biggest rivals, the Kansas Jayhawks, pilfering the slim blue-chip talent available in the Midwest. And the Tigers have slowly sunk into the abyss, with it all boiling over in a miserable 8-22 season and a dead last finish in conference play. This prompted the Tigers to clean house, signing on one of the most coveted coaches in all college basketball, as no matter where Coach Carter's gone along his legacy mode, success has followed, and the fans, students, and the brass at the university have new hope as the legendary coach signs a 2-year deal to become the 22nd coach in the history of the Tigers, with the hopes of not only reviving a former successful program, but taking them to new heights they've never seen before. Because if there's one thing Coach Carter knows, it is this:
the losing stops now.
Tryna hold back from puffin' droll, sitting in the lab like fuck it though. I keep my head high when the money's low. Besides blood, everything come and go. I know I'll die for the day that it's mine for the taking. Grind for the paper, no time to be wasted. I drive in the AM and think about the lies that I'm changing, saying amen. Behavior is wild, he's an atheist praying, but it's too late for saving it now. When I know, burn the cock back. I've learned a lot, you can't turn the clock back. You stir the pot, so you heard a shot black. Only learn to pop that when I heard a pop track. I earn my spot, ain't not a thread. Here today, could be gone and next. And it's true that anything is possible. So when I'm watching you, you better watch your step. No options left, so I'm going for next. Sick of being broke, so I'm going for bread. But I'm close to the edge now, fuck it, they play hard. I'm under their radar and over their heads. I ain't really trying to play with y'all. For talking to my name, so far to quit fronting. Cause I ain't been the one to take a loss. So I did, I just shake it off like it's nothing. It's nothing. Over
What is up, everybody? Happy to have you back on the channel. My name is College Sports Revived, and today, the College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode series sees our main character, Coach Carter, finally achieve the goal we set out for ourselves all the way back at his first head coaching gig, UT Martin. He's made it to the power ranks, taking the reins of Missouri Tigers basketball with the hopes that he can turn around the navigation of another program that seemingly lost its way. If you're new here, welcome. I'm College Sports Revived. You'll see mostly college sports gaming content on this channel. And if you like what you see today, feel free to check out the other 2 stops on Ken Carter's Legacy Mode series. We're over 120 episodes in, so plenty of content and fun to be had for you guys. The playlists to all my series are in the description of every video. Today's going to be just the intro video. We're going to be going over our roster, our deficiencies, and kicking off the new era of Coach Carter's career with our Midnight Madness Scrimmage, getting the first look at our new team. So Coach Carter's achieved the goal we set out for him 12 years ago, receiving and accepting a power conference job offer, but as you guys know, the journey is just beginning. Ken Carter sculpted Fordham University into one of the most dominant and unified forces in the country, but we're starting from the bottom again, over here in Columbia. He accepts a 2-year contract from the Tigers as we enter a new era, and according to the coaching carousel, the Fordham Rams, they poach the former Troy Trojans head coach, and we're going to be seeing him in Fordham later on this season. In my most recent 2K video, I had you guys vote on our next team, and I really appreciate the feedback I got. It was so tough to decide between Northwestern and Missouri, but I ultimately picked the Tigers due to the tougher recruiting situation and the Big 12 being the most challenging conference between the two. In that video, we already got a pretty good look at the situation we're entering. And like you heard earlier in the intro, this is a program that kind of lost itself after falling victim to one of the most devastating upsets in the history of March Madness. They've only made 1 appearance in the tournament since 2012. No tournament wins in a decade, and the school finally decided to clean house. Despite the record, the Tigers are coming off a season where they averaged a respectable 65 points per game. That's 5th in the Big 12 offensively. But the problems truly start on the other side of the floor. The Tigers gave up nearly 70 points in outing last year, far and away the worst mark in the Big 12, making this a different rebuild challenge than Fordham. When we started back there, the Rams were a league average defensive team but had a pitiful offense, so Coach Carter may have to re-strategize his rebuild this time around. Here's our schedule for the first season of Missouri Tigers basketball, where I kind of made a mistake, unfortunately, when selecting our preseason tournament. They don't tell you who's going to be participating in which brackets, so I picked the Cyclone Challenge with the hopes that Iowa State would potentially be hosting and playing. Spoilers, they are not. We're going to be seeing 3 other pretty inferior teams, so I think in episode 3, whenever we start playing games for the first time, we're just going to skim through that 2-game tournament to get to the regular season. I apologize for that mistake. But we hope to win 3 home games, each one increasing in difficulty, beginning with the Buffalo Bulls from the MAC, who actually scored the top transfer in the portal, a former Duke guard. Tennessee Martin is next, haven't coached there in 7 seasons, but we got to pay homage to where it all started. Then Boise State, which is a fairly even matchup. Back-to-back ranked away games will meet us next as we travel to Champaign for the first iteration of the bragging rights rivalry between Illinois and Mizzou, a matchup that's been going on since 1932. The Illini lead the series 36-20 and enter year 1 as a number 5 team in the country, and they've also won a championship within Coach Carter's Legacy Mode journey. So just like our other biggest rival in Kansas, this rivalry seems to be a bit one-sided as well. And then, of course, we play in the Rose Hill Gym. Got to play Fordham and Coach Carter's return to the school where he cut down the nets twice as the defending back-to-back champs enter the season, only ranked 22nd, despite the return of guys like Lloyd Hicks, Pat Park, and, of course, Coach Carter's son, Damian, who decided to finish his career and education with the Rams. Every year, we're also going to be taking part in the Big 12 SEC Challenge, and our opponent this year is at home against Arkansas. And then we travel to Chicago to play Northwestern, who was the other team that wanted to hire Coach Carter, and then the non-con ends with 2 winnable games. Big 12 play will then open against the personal rival for Coach Carter. You guys remember Coach Falls? He took over for Coach Carter back at UT Martin. When we left for Fordham, he did a great job there, and then he turned Pepperdine into a powerhouse, and he's finally landed at Texas beginning last season, where Coach Carter won the first meeting. So he's going to be an annual fixture in the series now, as Coach Falls and Coach Carter continue to revolutionize the sport. Oklahoma is our first home game in conference before hosting Kansas January 25th in the Border War. The Jayhawks are the preseason number 1 team entering the season, and Missouri trails the lifetime series in this rivalry as well, going 95-177 against KU, so we gotta do better against our rivals in this series. Surprisingly, Texas Tech led by All-American guard Bennett Wooten, is the only other Big 12 team in the preseason top 25. We get them second to last game of the season, and I'm sure they're going to be seeking revenge after we knocked him out of the Elite Eight in Coach Carter's final year coaching the Rams. If you're familiar with College Hoops 2K, you probably know all about the ABL or AAU, where you can watch your targeted high school prospects play against one another. We're going to be saving that for its own installment in episode 2, as in that one we're going to be highlighting those high school prospects with their own mixtapes, because getting this first high school class correct is going to be so pivotal to the trajectory of this series, as you'll see right here. As we meet this roster, 2 things stand out to you. 1, the lack of front court depth, as the highest rated center on this team is 66 overall Malik Flaherty, and that may explain the porous Tigers defense. And number 2, we have 6 seniors on their way out, a third of the roster, which is a little scary, as in season 1, this recruiting class could make or break Coach Carter's tenure here with all these scholarships, but it's also very exciting, as he can also shape the roster any way he sees fit and revitalize a team with a crop of young talent as soon as next season. I also wanted to introduce you guys to a couple of key players before we head into that preseason scrimmage, as our top returning scorer is forward Jaisha Ezekwe, who started since he was a freshman for the Tigers. Jaisha will be our captain in year 1. He's a high IQ, two-way wing who started to round out the other parts of his game offensively last year. One of our bigger building blocks will be the 6-foot junior point guard DeAnthony Emery. He's led the team in assists over the past 2 years by a wide margin. He's one of the fastest players in the Big 12, and if he can get his jumper more consistent, he may have a sky-high ceiling. And the final impact player I wanted to highlight is starting power forward Britton Lensley. The Loveland, Colorado product is really refined on both sides of the court, very polished inside the arc and in, and can hit the occasional 3. And with a defense and block rating in the 80s as well, we're going to be asking him to potentially play some small ball 5 to see if he can answer some of our defensive questions. Don't worry, we're going to be meeting the rest of this roster to finish out episode 1 as we head down to Coach Carter's new home for the first time, the Mizzou Arena in Columbia, Missouri. The clock has struck midnight on October 15th, marking the day that teams can begin practicing, so why not celebrate with a scrimmage to kick off the Coach Carter era of Missouri hoops? And don't expect our new players to be going through the motions tonight either. Looking at this rotation, I see plenty of minutes up for grabs, especially in the front court and throughout the bench, so this is going to be a prime opportunity for the new guys to leave an impression on Coach Carter before we tip off season 1. We'll have the 2s wearing the black road jerseys with the gold trim, and the starting 5 in the white home jerseys. A senior in Malik Flaherty and a sophomore in Adam Gosselin meet at the timeline, and from Columbia, Missouri, I welcome you to a new era of Coach Carter Legacy Mode action. The 2s earn the first possession, and 6'6" backup point guard Bryson Oliver, 71 overall. He will set up the offense. Here's Dalen Teagues, the backup 3, and the ball swings side to Adam Gosselin, who's fouled. So the bench unit will get the first opportunity to score here tonight. And Adam Gosselin, a 6'9" sophomore out of Rapid City, South Dakota. He's going to be alongside a lot of other bigs tonight trying to earn those minutes, because Malik Flaherty starts at center. He's only a 67 overall, so a very fluid and volatile position on the team. Now we see the starting 5 here in their first possession. Jaisha Ezekwe bodied up by Dalen Teagues. He takes him off the dribble and scores with the left hand. And the starting 5 is on the board now. Jaisha Ezekwe, 6'7" senior, 80 overall. He's not only our returning leading scorer, but the team lead in rebounds and blocks a season ago. A very all-around and high IQ player. Unfortunately, we're only going to have him for 1 year alongside 5 other Missouri Tigers. A minute into the game, DeAnthony Emery tries his first shot attempt, no good, but the rebound is scooped up by Malik Flaherty. He kicks it out to Xavier Bigelow, who's going to start at the 2, but he misses. And now the 2s have the advantage, 2-on-1. Brandon Offler bounce pass inside to Trey Rodriguez for the finish. Rodriguez is a 6'1" freshman, 67 overall, and a former walk-on out of Orange, California. He's got a decent handle and jumper. And the former coach did not do Coach Carter any favors in the recruiting class he brought in. He only scored 2 two-star players, so Coach Carter ended up finding 2 walk-ons to basically be our pseudo-freshman class. We'll meet the other one later. There's Xavier Bigelow with the basket there. And a steal on the break. Jaisha Ezekwe. Expect to see some full-court pressing for Coach Carter in his first season at Missouri as we try to help this team give up less than 70 points per game here in the new season. Rodriguez at the line as he misses the second one, but here's the second walk-on. This is Romeo Cothran. He's out of Las Vegas, a very balanced rebounder on both sides, very high motor player. And I could see him really earning some minutes here if he can provide some energy for this team. Now Dalen Teague's on the steal as Rodriguez swings it around. Teague tries to take it baseline, and he misses the layup, but Cawthorn off the weak side. And the bench unit looking pretty good here early. Cawthorn has 6 out of their 12 points, and they have the early advantage. Now about halfway through here in the first half, 12-minute halves here in the scrimmage. I play on 15-minute halves whenever the regular season rolls around. Xavier Bigelow crossover, kick out, Jaysha Ezekwe for 3. And the starting 5 has their first lead of the night. And how about another steal? That time it's Bigelow with deflection. And Jaysha Ezekwe looks to score here. We set it up to Bigelow. Here comes another impact player, Britton Lensley on the pick. They cover it well, but we'll go inside to Flaherty. High-low, Anthony Emery for 3. Book it for our potential starting point guard, a 6-foot junior, 78 overall, 94 speed, 88 handle, and Emery is also our best free throw shooter at 78. The bench unit down by 2 looking for a stop here. Ezekwe cross court to Xavier Bigelow. He's trapped. Dish off to Lensley. He gets Cawthorn up in the air and bodies up Gosselin underneath the rim to score his first points. Britton Lensley may be our small ball 5 this year, depending on how Malik Flaherty plays in his senior year. He's only a 67 overall. Lensley is 77. And with his defense and his shooting, I think he can provide both matchup nightmares on either side of the floor if he plays some small ball 5. Now he tries to roll here, but Gosselin covers it nicely and deflects it out of Lensley's hand, but he goes headlong to try to get the steal, and Lensley recovers and puts it in. But I do like the hustle there by Gosselin. Now we see Lensley at the free throw line moments later, knocking it down here. That's going to be something that we tried to improve upon this season, as the Missouri Tigers only shot 71% from the line a season ago. And nicely done, breaking the press. That's Trey Rodriguez going full court to Adam Gosselin. He's been making some plays here. I've been a little impressed with the reserve front court between Gosselin and Cawthorn. They've been giving the starters all they can handle. They still trail by 4 as Oliver sets things up here. Dalen Teagues breaks down. Malik Flaherty off the dribble, but rotating over, it's Jaysha Ezekwe showing his two-way prowess. And Bigelow looks for some help. It's Ezekwe out top to Emery. He has the mismatch against Dalen Teagues and takes him off the dribble. Beautiful double cross move. And Emery is the first Missouri Tiger on either side in double figures, 4 for 5 shooting for the 6-foot junior. Now, with just seconds left to go here in the first half, bench still hanging around, 27-23, as Oliver, he tries to attack Emery and uses the length to get past him. Emery stopped his feet when he reached, and our potential backup point guard gets the first basket, or rather the last basket of the first half. Expect Bryson Oliver to potentially play some 2 if Xavier Bigelow struggles, as he's had a pretty tumultuous college career, as he's also victimized by a screen here set by Romeo Coughlin to tip off the second half. Got to go into replay mode for this. This is where you earn minutes on Coach Carter's team. I mean, a bludgeoning screen setting up Rodriguez, and he nets the triple. Really impressive showing for Cawthorn. And the three-point income for the Tigers last season was actually one of their most impressive feats. They were 3rd in the conference in three-point percentage a season ago. Now Oliver tries to body up Emery inside, gives up 6 inches of height, but he misses. Now Emery, we don't have numbers, but Ezekwe still finds some real estate to knock down the bucket in transition. We're going to have to use our speed and shooting to score before these Big 12 defenses set up this season. Here at Norm Stewart Court, the court named after that 30-year head coach we talked about in the intro. As here comes the starters, Ezekwe top of the key as Dalen Teagues cannot close out in time. He has struggled tonight trying to guard our best player. 2 for 2 from 3 is Ezekwe, but Cawthorn up the other end. He missed the layup and got a little bit too aggressive. A basket interference is called. Still in the cylinder, but I love the high motor player that he is showing us that he can be, the former walk-on turning heads. 8 minutes left to play. Now the biggest lead in the contest for the starters. They start to pull away here. Rodriguez short corner inside to Gosselin. Really nice possession there by the bench. And Trey Rodriguez is also earning some minutes, I believe, from this little scrimmage here. He's been holding his own as well in his first opportunity to play against D1 competition. Short corner Ezekwe. Pick by Bigelow. It's an inverted pick and pop as Bigelow knocks it down from mid-range. I want to talk about Bigelow a bit. He's a 5'11 sophomore, 75 overall, has the highest potential on the team, but only 4.2 points in his career. Definitely a far cry from his high school billing, as he was the former 39th recruit of his class. Now Jaysha Ezekwe kind of feeling himself. Triple threat move, crossover, and he makes Dalen Teagues touch earth. And he scores 2 more points. Oh my goodness, look at this. Pivot move, crossover. Teagues has been having a nightmare night trying to keep up with him. And Coach Carter at the bottom right of your screen, loving what he's seeing from his new cast of players. So how will the bench respond? They're kind of running out of gas here in the second half, now down by 14. But Rodriguez dish inside, Oliver mid-range, no good. And that's one he should probably make, but he still does not give up on the play. Grabbing the steal on a lazy outlet pass by Jaysha Ezekwe, a pretty uncharacteristic mistake there by our team captain. Oliver is intriguing, a 71 overall senior who's 6'6" with some guard skills, 81 mid-range, 82 defense. Like I said earlier, if Bigelow has a slow start in his sophomore campaign, I could see Oliver becoming the 2 guard here, as we may need his length on the defensive side of the floor. Here he is covering Emery with 3.5 left to play in the scrimmage. Emery at the controls, off to Bigelow, and a nice pass to Ezekwe. Wow! What a find there, and what a double clutch layup on the baseline. Ezekwe showing off he's got many tools in the toolbox, and that one goes off of a pretty feed by Bigelow. And unfortunately, Romeo Cawthorn is at a good night tonight, gets involved in the personal highlight tape that Jaysha's putting together tonight. Man, what a play there, as the starters are taking control here down the stretch in the twilight of the scrimmage, as their lead is still at double figures. Under 3 to play now. Bigelow against Rodriguez. Defense right here, the focal point for the second unit, but it's Emery again. Friendly shooter's touch. Looks like his jumper has been coming along in the offseason. Like I said in pregame, if he could make some more jumpers, the ceiling is sky high for our point guard. Now Adam Gosselin, one-on-one against Malik Flaherty, puts his shoulder into the center, loses it for a moment. So Malik Flaherty folds strong, but Trey Rodriguez sees a wide open paint and knocks in the layup as Britton Lensley try to rotate over to provide help. He's called for the foul, and Rodriguez approaches 20 points as well. So Emery, Trey Rodriguez, and Jaysha Ezekwe are top scorers from this scrimmage, and the Orange California native knocks down the free throw as well to give him 18, and that's how he would finish. 59-49 is your final, as the last chance to get it under single digits is too long by Dalen Teagues. And overall, a really fun scrimmage comes to an end. 59-49, the starters prevail, led by 20 from DeAnthony Emery, 8 of 13, 3 of 3 from deep. We also saw a great game from Jaysha Ezekwe, doing things on both sides of the floor, inside and outside. Britton Lensley also impressed as well. He had the hat trick and steals. And Malik Flaherty also grabbed a game-high 7 rebounds. We'll see if he stays at the starting 5 position. The only starter that was a bit underwhelming was Xavier Bigelow, who shot 3 of 11, but he did have a game-high 4 assists. It's kind of tough to shoot with him. He's got good shooting ratings, but his jumper, his release is tough. And in this game, when you play on higher difficulties, you really got to get the timing right. So we'll see how that plays out, especially after Oliver and Trey Rodriguez played pretty good games, respectively. Oliver, he didn't do anything, to light the world on fire, but he commanded the troops pretty well and played good defense. And Trey Rodriguez, 18 points, 6 of 9 shooting, went to the free throw line multiple times. And Adam Gosselin also had a nice game with 10. So did Romeo Cawthorn. So those two will be duking it out for reserve minutes behind our starting front court, and potentially starters minutes if we don't like how Malik Flaherty starts the season. So that'll do it for the first episode of the series, guys. We got the backstory behind the team we're taking over, got a sneak peek at the rosters and the players that we aim to build around. And next episode, we're going to be going over Coach Carter's recruiting board, featuring highlight tapes from the 12 targets on his list entering season 1. And then episode 3 will feature our first games of the legacy. Unfortunately, because I kind of bungled the schedule and put a pretty underwhelming preseason tournament on the menu, I'll probably just have to recap these first 2 games unless one of them gets interesting. And then we'll go in depth with our home opener, with that Buffalo matchup being the featured game of that 3rd episode. And before I leave today, guys, I wanted to answer some of the most commonly asked questions on my videos, beginning with the sliders that I play on if you wanted to use them for yourselves. Simulation playstyle, All-American difficulty. I used to play on MLP, which is the hardest, but back in the Fordham series, the CPU was literally breaking rules, like goaltending my shots without it being called to beat me, so I had to pump it down a notch. I play on 15-minute halves and a sim length of 18. That'll best match the stats of your played games. game and player speed at 51, free throw difficulty at 55, and the only thing you got to change down here is the clutch factor. I turn that off because when it's on, it feels like every shot goes in down the stretch in the game for the CPU and for me, so I turn that off. Here are my foul sliders. It's hard to get these balanced because like most basketball games, the refs are a bit favored towards the CPU, but I do like these. I do draw charges with it at 60, and overall I think these are in a good spot. As for the gameplay sliders, I'm just going to quickly skim through them, so pause the video if you're going to enter in, for your own game. They're probably not the most realistic you've seen, but I enjoy them a lot because the games are jam-packed, and every game feels different. I get some, 53 to 49 slugfest, but I also get those 85 to 81 shootouts, so they're a challenge to play on because the room for error is so small, but I also think they're a blast. I've been tinkering with these for years. And finally, I also get asked questions on how I automatically run plays in this game. So you got to go to coach settings under the options tab, and at the top, you'll have play vision and play call messages. Set those to show all. When these are set to auto, your players will still try to run the plays without the play art being up on the screen, so it just makes the gameplay worse and more confusing. So I like using the plays as a guide, but I also freelance them, a lot off those plays. And I got one more bonus tip for you guys. If your gameplay is feeling a bit stale, when you get to this pregame screen, press the Y menu on Xbox, triangle on PlayStation, and then hit game options. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and toggle both teams' playbooks to all plays. This will open up the entire catalog of plays not only to you, but to the CPU as well. So it'll make them a lot more unpredictable. And that, combined with my sliders where the CPU's 3-point and drive tendencies are increased, you'll find the CPU's behavior a lot more unpredictable. So I hope those tips helped you guys have a better experience with the game, and I hope you enjoyed the intro episode to the series, this College Hoops 2K Legacy Mode featuring Coach Carter and his new school, the Missouri Tigers. Keep an eye out for episode 2. That'll be the high school prospect recruiting special. I'm going to have that out soon, and I hope you guys have a great night. I'm signing out, and stay tuned for more here on College Sports Revived. Thank you if you've made it all the way to the video. You guys are the best, and I hope you enjoy what I got coming on the horizon.